All right. What is up, everybody? Man, I'm excited because it is Monday night and it is time for another episode of Monday Halls Live. This is the weekly web series that we've got going on here on my channel, Carl's Collects Comics. This is the web series where we look at the past week to week and a half's worth of comic book pickups. It's generally myself and MT, who has a professorial knowledge base when it comes to comic books and what books to be picking up, and he's always got some interesting books that he has. I think he'll be joining us in a little bit. But man, I'm excited because I've got some cool stuff to show off. Not just some vintage books, but also some new books, and then I also have some cool books, some cool collected editions that I wanted to spotlight. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that I've got those. I showed off one of them, and I pulled all three of them here that I wanted to share with y'all. So I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of cool stuff. But hey, as we get started, just a couple of quick things. Remember that we've got Monday Halls Live that happens on Mondays at 10 p.m. Central. And like I said, that's the web series where we go over the past week to week and a half's worth of new comic book pickups. Not just new books, but also vintage books as well. On Wednesday nights, we have the giveaway show, which is that also streams at 10 p.m. Central. And that's generally got a rotating list of subjects that we go through. We also do give away books, getting closer and closer to them always being tied to the theme for whatever the show is that we're talking about. This upcoming week, we're going to be talking about toys again, and we will be having our friend Adam from Nerdmazing joining us yet again. Here, let's flash him up. Adam will be with us this Wednesday night. He's going to be showing us a couple of capsule reviews. He's always got some cool products that he's found, but and this is nothing different. He's going to be sharing that with us. But then on Fridays, some Fridays, most Fridays maybe, I do a Friday feature. And these are different things. They're going to be how-tos. They're going to be top 10 lists. They're going to be creator interviews. They're going to be LCS spotlights. And we might even do some scripted content at some point here in the not too distant future. Also, if you are new to the channel or haven't seen it yet, we have a 4-part video series for new comic collectors called Comic Collecting for Beginners. It's a 4-part video series. Each video is about a little over 20 minutes, packed with a lot of tips and hints and kind of a philosophical approach to the hobby for new collectors, just something to help you get started in this huge hobby of ours that we all share. So hey, we are excited to be here with you tonight. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. El Green Machine, good to see you, sir. Spider Girl, it's good to see you as well. And it looks like MT is here with us as well in the studio. So hey, what's up, everybody? We're glad to be here with you tonight. I'm excited because we got a whole bunch of cool stuff to show off. One more note that I want to make sure and share with you. Wednesday night, October the 26th, which is fast coming up. I think that's actually a week and a half from now. We're going to be doing our 1,000 subscriber milestone giveaway celebration episode. That'll be on that Wednesday night, the giveaway show. And we're going to be giving away a bunch of cool stuff. Comic books, gift cards, supplies for comics, and there will be an entry video where the only way for you to enter to win some of the prizes is entering that video, but then also we'll have giveaways just for that night for the chat, and we'll be I'll be sharing a little bit more with you about that on this upcoming Wednesday night, so you can be a week out and know exactly what we're going to be doing and what we're giving away. So MT, good to have you with us as always, man. How's your week been?
It's been well. It's only one day deep, and it's been a long day. I sent somebody the wrong books, and I think I've only ever done that once before. So I probably got a little too wound up about it, but I got it all straightened out. But I saw your promo, and I got to thinking about what I was going to show, because I tend, we all tend to lean towards the books that we bought when we really got serious into collecting, or that you really were diehard reading books. And for me, that was kind of like the mid 2000s era. And there was some, I think, some of the best writing that Marvel ever did came out of that decade. Apart from, some of the initial, the genesis of a lot of these character arcs, you can certainly don't want to discount those from the Bronze Age, from the Silver Age. But as far as like modern day, really good writing that could be considered like an HBO series type writing. So that's what I've been kind of buying again here recently, and I have been picking up some Deadpool stuff. So I have some Deadpool stuff to show you. I picked up a couple Wolverine keys that were like really big at the time, and I didn't want to pay that much for them. They've kind of come down a little bit, so now I was able to kind of complete some of the covers that I didn't have. So that was kind of interesting to do. But both Deadpool movies have been fantastic. Second one, not quite as good as the first one, but it certainly had great moments in it. I think Reynolds is dedicated to the character, and that shows in the movie, and dedicated to the source material, which I think really makes for a good movie.
I'd agree.
So anyway, that's a lot of what I got to show you here tonight. I'm excited for the new Deadpool movie. I think we've got another a year or two to wait or something.
Oh yeah, at least.
Right?
At least. I love that with a simple, such a simple little announcement video, he broke the internet just by having Hugh Jackman walk by in the background. Actually, right. I think I saw somewhere it was not Hugh Jackman. They just like face mapped him or something.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know, but I mean, he's in the movie. He's going to be in the movie, and no, I think it was him.
He was in the second promo. That was him, though. When
yes, that was definitely him. Together. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was probably him in the first promo. That was probably a joke about the whole face mapping thing. But I remember I just saw something in passing about it. But man, and then the Whitney Houston song popping in, it was fantastic.
And he did a trolling bit with him in the last movie's promos, right? Or afterwards. Yeah. They had a couple of cutaways where he did promos with him, so it's an ongoing gag that he was able to keep dragging out. And, I just love the fact that the whole way he was able to get this movie made is he had that little promo scene of him on the freeway, and then he leaked it himself so that he could get funding for the movie.
Right, yeah.
Fans demanded it be made, and it got made. So, Al Green said it was him. Hey, Spidey Girl, good to see you.
What's up, Spider Girl? Good to see you. Same too. Let's see. I saw somebody else pop in here real quick. Brian Wells, good to have you for the live show, man. Glad that you could make it. Hey, so guys, we'll go ahead and I'll tell you what, we'll get started. Let's see. Do you want me to kick it off, MT?
Sure, go right ahead.
So on Instagram, I had shared this that I picked up. MT, you might think these are, well, you probably have all the originals, but for me, I don't quite have all of them. So these are really a really cool novelty to me, and I wanted to share it because, the economy being what it is, everybody's looking for a good deal. So if you don't have the original Silver Age ones or runs, or if you want a reader copy, so Marvel, I don't even think it's been a year since they started doing it. They started publishing these digest-sized Mighty Marvel Masterworks. They're full color reprints. Local comic shops only have. You can only get these reproduction covers, like these reproduction covers for the classic issues, at your local comic shop. Anywhere else that you go, like Amazon, mostly on Amazon and eBay, anywhere else that you go online, it's different cover art. And so this is totally my thing. But so this is the Black Panther one that just came out last week. No, the week before last. And I've been looking for this one because it comes with the Fantastic Four 52 repro cover on it, but it is a digest. And on the back, it shows which issues are contained. So I was going to show it. So this is Fantastic Four number 52 through 54 and number 56. It's Tales of Suspense number 97 through 99. It's Captain America number 100, and it's the Avengers 52, 62, and 73 and 74, and then Daredevil number 52. And these chronicle the first 10 issues, spotlighting Black Panther, telling his story, letting us get to know him, this now iconic character. So I thought this was really cool. I just picked this one up, but I didn't just pick this one up. I also had previously, when it first came out, I couldn't pass this up. This is the Spider-Man edition, the volume 1 of Spider-Man with, the Amazing Fantasy 15 cover. Now this one's a little bit thicker. So the Black Panther one was $15.99 without discount. That's the printed price on it. And then the Spider-Man one is also, it was also $15.99. This contains Amazing Fantasy 15 and the Amazing Spider-Man number 1 through 10. So it's a considerably thicker book, but yeah, it's full color, really nice. It's a compact size, just for comparison. This is the size of a regular comic book right here. This is the size of the digest. Regular,
slightly smaller, huh?
Yeah. It's a nice backpack size. Like, carry it with you to read, like on the subway or on the bus, or if you're going to be waiting somewhere. Nice little compact volume. I also picked up, when it came out, the Daredevil one, which also, again, I thought was super, super cool that it had this. This one was also, they all three had a cover price of $15.99, and this is Daredevil number 1 through 11. So just really cool, compact and economic reading material. Like, if you want the material, like this nice Silver Age material, just to be able to read, and you don't want to have single issue like reprints or like Marvel Tales or whatever, you can pick it all up in a nice compact edition. The colors are reprinted very beautifully here. I'm really impressed with it. It's good paper for it. It's nice and thicker paper, and it's really nicely reprinted, and it's good strong binding. Just a square bound, glue bound book. Right. But yeah, so this is just a cool thing. I wanted to do this the first round because I know a lot of us. If we don't have an Amazing Fantasy 15 by now, chances are we're probably not going to be able to get it. But to me, having a nice volume like this that collects all those early appearances is a beautiful way to be able to enjoy the material and enjoy, the cover, but not, have like a bunch of single issues and stuff like that.
And so often they put throwbacks and Easter eggs back to those original comics, and it's nice to be able to have that as a reference guide to go back and look at some of that stuff to help you better understand modern stories or other stories that you're trying to read further on down the line.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll make y'all aware of is that these have been a big success. So Marvel is continuing them on, so you can get, like, I think they're either on the second or third volume already of the Spider-Man one. So you can get, like, this is Amazing Fantasy 15 and 1 through 10. So you can get the other ones. Nerd Amazing. I love. Hey, Adam. But yeah, I love that they did this. I mean, to me, this was the coolest thing, is that they did these repro covers of the first appearances of these characters. And these are just,
funny enough, the dollar store years ago sold $1 copies of all the number ones, Fantastic Four, Avengers, all those, and it was like the first 3 issues. And I bought a ton of those because I gave them away as gifts. But I tell you what, I read that thing I don't know how many times. Yeah. It's a really cool thing to have in your collection. I didn't know those were out. You're saying those are out right now?
Yes. Yeah. So
now?
This the Black Panther one, like I said, it came out the week before last, so you can still find these. I'll be honest with you, the Daredevil ones much harder to find.
Okay.
This is getting to the point where it's going to be very, very difficult to still find it, because remember, like I said, the reproduction covers that have the classic covers on them, that it's not just retro art. These were only made available to brick and mortar stores.
Now, so what's the cover price on those, Carlos?
$15.99 is the price, and you're getting 11 issues worth of content. So, I mean, that's a pretty good. It's a little over $1 per issue, basically, for Silver Age reading material.
Sure.
The other thing I'll make you aware of. So there's the other ones I'm on the hunt for right now. There's an X-Men one with the repro cover for X-Men #1. You can find that on eBay for about $20, plus about 5 or 6 shipping. Well worth it, in my opinion. There's an Avengers #1 repro cover with the first 11 issues of Avengers. There's and then there's a Fantastic Four one. There's a Thor one. I haven't seen a Captain America one yet, but I'm keeping an eye out for it, because remember, that's Golden Age stuff, so I think it's mainly all the Silver Age ones. So I don't know. Right. I'm not sure how they're going to address Namor and Captain America and like the Golden Age characters, but
let me ask you this, because I used to buy the Marvel Essentials, and
yes.
Those were all in black and white, and they're a little tough to read when they're all in black and white. So are these stories in color, or the interior?
Yeah. They are full color, beautiful reproduction, very nice. It's almost like Baxter paper, but like a newer version of Baxter paper is what they used for it. So it is thicker. It's not like a thin one. So L Green asked, what are they called? Digest? No. They are digest sized, but the name of the series is Mighty Marvel Masterworks. And you want to keep in mind, these are not the bigger Marvel Masterworks, which are hardcover and much more expensive. These are soft cover. They're trade paperback. They're digest sized. They're square bound like trade paperbacks. And the series for them is called Mighty Marvel Masterworks. And so you can look them up on eBay. You can find, I think, 1 or 2 of the repro covers on Amazon. You can find a couple more on eBay, but just really cool books. And I remember this one, I almost missed out on this one because I didn't pick it up at first. And then I went back. They were sold out, and my LCS happened to get a few more in, and so I snatched this thing up because it just kept bugging me. It was back around last Christmas time, and it just kept bugging me because I said I know I'm going to always wish I would have picked it up, and so I did. I found a copy. I was able to pick it up, and then shortly thereafter got the Daredevil, and just this past week got the Fantastic Four. Right now, they've got a Tales of Suspense. And I don't know. I'll see if I can find one of these, and maybe we'll throw one of these into the giveaway pile for the 1,000 subscriber mark if I can find one. But yeah. So that's my first round, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to MT and see what kind of goodness he's got for us. Real quick, couple shout outs. What's up, Amazing Spider Flint? Good to see you, sir. Glad that you're here with us. Mike Bravo, Adam from Nerd Amazing. Hey, what's up? Teresa Newell is here. I see Comic Tracks hanging out. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Yeah, there's Brian Wells. And then, So, hey, I'm going to pass it off to MT. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure and hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to do so, because you're going to want that in about a week and a half when we do our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. MT, what you got for us this first round?
I got a bunch of great books from Edwin Price this week. We usually wait till we fill up a medium flat rate box between each two, and then we just ship it to each other. And I kind of had forgotten about some of the stuff I picked up from him. And the Claw, Black Panther you were talking about. This was like one of the first Fantastic Four Silver Age comics I ever bought. So it's like one that I see it, I always want to buy it again. Second appearance of Ulysses Claw.
Oh, wow.
And Ulysses Claw is directly tied to Black Panther. That's why he was in the Black Panther movie. The original bad guy, as you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not bad copy. not a huge Fantastic Four collector, but there's so many key appearances. Black Panther and a lot of the more galactic based characters that I like. So I got that one. That was close at hand here. I also got. Did I hide that on myself? I showed you guys all of the Marvel Timely books, and I knew there was one more I was missing, and I finally came across it in the long boxes. So this is the Marvel Mystery Comics #1, which is Namor's first appearance in Marvel Comics, or in a comic book, I should say, where he attacks a submarine full of Nazis. But the covers were really well done, talking about reprints about books we'll never be able to afford, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll pick up a Namor first appearance. But the story of James Hammond and the first Human Torch is a very interesting story. It's retold in a lot of Captain America books. But I'm gonna show some of the Wolverine stuff I've been picking up here recently. Some other stuff I think are good books you should keep an eye out for. And I'll start with some of the ones that I didn't necessarily buy off the shelf, but bought secondhand. The all new Wolverine #1 issue, and then this is one I just got recently, and I don't know if this is a key or not, but I thought that was an interesting cover where you got the son versus the daughter.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was really going to get on here and totally trash the She-Hulk show and how terrible Hulk's son looks. Terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't know why they did that. There's no basis for that in the film, is there? I mean, in the comics, is there? For the hairstyle?
None. And
yeah, he's got the longer kind of mane of hair going.
Jeez, I should probably wait. I'll pull because I've got all the #1, his first appearances there, and we can take a gander at how he looked. He was tattooed. His whole body was tattooed as part of a ritual. His coming of age, becoming a man. He gets tattooed, and he's got quite an epic hero's journey. Left alone on a planet when his father thought he was dead and his mother died. It was actually a very compelling story. And he was angry, obviously, felt hurt kid, abandoned by his family, so it had a compelling storyline on the planet Hulk. We'll get into this a little bit. We'll get into this later about how disappointed I am of how short they fall of the original storylines type of a situation. But let's get into a couple Deadpool things here. And then I will, is that what I'm going to do? Yeah, we'll do Wolverine in the second half. I finally found my #3 to the Deadpool Circle Chase. This was always like the big Deadpool book for years and years and years. Doesn't seem to be quite as popular nowadays as it used to be. But, it was a 4-issue mini before his first self-titled ongoing series. But sweet cover, and it's embossed. So this is not a book that you can really press with a whole lot of success. So it's either it's going to be in high grade or it's not. There's not a whole lot that can be done with these. So I'm lucky to have a nice high grade set of this. And I actually picked this particular set that I'm holding. I got from Mr. Strictly himself. Real nice. This was big when I was reading comics, collecting comics. This was the big book, or the big series that I first started collecting and buying was Cable and Deadpool. Liefeld goodness here at #1. Cable had a time jumping / teleporting mechanism in his bionic arm, and every time he would do that, it would automatically suck Deadpool in, and Deadpool would appear wherever he had to teleport to. Made for interesting stories. This was easily my favorite one at the time, was when they had the crossover with the Great Lakes Avengers. Living right on the Great Lake. I'm a huge fan. Did you ever read any of the Great Lakes Avengers?
I did not. I did not.
It's a spoof book, right? And it's got, here's another copy of it. We can look at it here. Mr. Immortal, who we saw on the She-Hulk show, is what Kenny from South Park was based on. Now Kenny constantly gets killed, brought back to life. And then they like dressed up as Halloween characters and even did a video game. Was based off of Mr. Immortal. Just like the Dawson Creek Trapper Keeper episode was based on a Silver Surfer annual book. And Rosie O'Donnell becomes that huge blob. That's right out of the Silver Surfer book. But which Squirrel Girl was in this 2D man, which was like a two-dimensional version of Mr. Fantastic, and of course Big Bertha, who used to be Millie the model, who Stanley hated Millie the model. And then Dorky, Skeleton Key. It's not Skeleton Key. That's a different guy. He turned out to be a very dark character. Let me see the Avengers book on the wall. Grade, please.
He's trolling you. You need to shout him out. Hey, Nerdmazing. So real quick, Nerdmazing. Yes, I think Amazing Spider Flint answered, but yes, the first the first appearance of Hulk or Wolverine has been reprinted numerous times. There's facsimiles, True Believers, and then there was even a 2-part series where both parts were reprinted. I had a copy of it and foolishly sold it. It was signed by Lin Wen, and it was a nice little 2-parter. And yes, everyone, Mr. Paul Comics is in the chat.
So this is the finale to Cable and Deadpool. So I got number 1 and then the finale there for you. And the finale I got here recently, very recently. These were some of the ones I picked up off the books. I was trying to think, I thought that the first appearance of Gwenpool was in one of these, but I think maybe it was just like a variant cover of number 2, if I'm not mistaken. She just appeared on a cover in the pool or something.
Yeah. I thought that was the one of her floating in the pool on the thing. I thought that was her first appearance.
Yeah, but she's not inside the book. It was just like a random variant cover, and she was not inside the story. Because I was just looking before the show here to figure that out. I got the first couple issues of his. This must have been around 2014, 2015, maybe. I love this. For some reason, I love this Old Gangsters, Cable and Deadpool, Murder in Paradise. I'm pretty sure that's a movie homage poster. But at any rate, another one of my all-time favorite Deadpool covers is the 8-bit NES game.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
It took me a long time to get one of these, and then I got a couple of them, of course. I didn't just get one. I had to get like 3 or 4. But
what's the value on it right now?
I think when I bought these, they were like $40 or $50 a piece. They probably have come down a little bit. I think I paid $40 because I bought 4 of them at a time.
Oh, okay.
But they're about. I think I just sold one of these here not too long ago for $40. So that's probably what they are. But this is number 300. 300.
Oh,
wow. We were talking about action figures. You had the action figure guy on here not too long ago. I always liked this one. My brother has every Marvel Legends they ever did. So this is, I always think about my brother when I see this book.
You know what that makes me think of? Remember the Toy Fair Theater from Wizard Magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like wearing his water wings. I thought that was pretty funny. And then this also came from the toy shop. Was your cover?
Nice.
I want to say, is this issue number 1 or number 2? Okay, it's number 1. The Merc with a Mouse battles whomever has the most money, apparently. Okay. I forgot I even owned this one. This is one I bought off the shelf. Zombies, Cavemen, Dinosaurs, and Zombie Cavemen. Merc with a Mouse, starring Kazar. And he's showing Headpool in here. And I actually just pulled that book out here because I was going through and trying to get all my Marvel Zombies in one place. And it's Marvel Zombies 3 #1. That's the first appearance of Headpool. From this run. It had all the classic monster movie poster homages. Great. It's a great read. I was never really big into zombies until Pseudonym kind of came along and started doing that whole thing. And I started reading Marvel Zombies because they were redoing a lot of the classic Golden and Silver Age covers. I'm always a sucker for those. Anytime they do that, I buy one. Secret Invasion did it. They did it with the Marvel Zombies. I'm easily hooked. Like this one. First fan expo I ever went to, I got this book, which is an homage to a very famous Shield Steranko cover. Him hamming it up here. Talk about some other classic stuff. I couldn't find my other copies of this. I do have this one. I've got the one where he's riding a whale, and it's like 2 or 3 different, maybe 4 covers of Deadpool illustrated. Very interesting stories here, or interesting covers, I should say. Yeah, because this is issue number 4. There was four issues of this, right? This is a more modern iteration. I'm pretty sure this came out after the first movie, but this was super popular in its time.
Okay, I've seen this one.
A little bit more modern here, but this is a David Nakayama.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love that 8-bit cover. I can remember buying my first NES cartridge. I was trying to talk my brother into giving me his last $4 so I could afford the Zelda game, which was more expensive than any other game at the time. I was at KB Toy Stores in the mall.
Oh, I remember KB Toy Stores. So overpriced, but so alluring.
It was like one of the only places you could get NES games in the beginning. Not everybody carried them. You couldn't go to like Kmart or something to get them.
You know what? You're right. You're right about that. I'd forgotten about that.
Toys R Us had them, KB had them, and that was about it in the beginning.
I remember my dad was so proud and excited when he brought home that first NES box with Super Mario Brothers, and we were just like blown away by it. You know, it was a huge jump ahead from, I think it was Atari was the last one we had.
Yeah, 2600. Yeah, it was a gold cartridge. The Zelda was a gold, the only gold cartridge, which made it extra special, right? I got a great story about the NES, right? So we bugged my dad forever to get a Nintendo, and might have been 2 years behind the game on when it first came out or whatever. So he finally buys one for Christmas, and we're all sitting there dying to play this thing, and we're waiting for him to set it because he wants to be the one that sets it up and starts to play it. Right. We're trying to tell him how to. You got to press the start button. You know that whole shtick. Well, he starts to play Super Mario Brothers, immediately dies, gets angry, and throws the controller at the computer at the TV screen.
Oh.
Like we're all horrified. He's already broke the thing. Oh, good times. That's where I came up with the phrase "ruining Christmas." It's like a common phrase at my house around Christmas. But just horrified as kids. So this is I was looking for the rest of the. I know I've got the rest of these somewhere, but Mrs. Deadpool and the Howling Commandos was like it was like a monster squad. Very cool for Halloween.
That's kind of cool.
I believe this is the last issue. I think this is another 4-issue run. But Man-Thing's on the cover there. And like some other versions of Living Mummy and Frankenstein, modern iteration of Frankenstein. I needed to pull this out for Edmund Price. I'm not quite sure who the Black Panther looking guy is in the back there. The Werewolf by Night's in the front, and I don't know who the woman character is. Maybe somebody knows. But if you notice, Frankenstein's still wearing the same camel hair vest that we have no idea where he got it from. This was a weird series because I was like, what the heck's going on with Lady Deadpool? My brother's like, just buy it. It's a funny one. So this is the prelude to Deadpool Corpse. Which is funny that they made it into a multi-issue. Lewd, crude, and socially unacceptable. Censored here, but Headpool was in this. So it was like Mini-Me, Deadpool, Headpool, Mrs. Headpool, Deadpool Dog, which I can't remember what Deadpool Dog's name was. Yeah, here you can kind of see the rest of them. And like Headpool had himself a beanie that he could fly around with. But it was a pretty funny series. So I figured I'd show you that, and then there's the actual Deadpool corpse, and you can tell who drew that one, of course, old Liefeld. And this one had gangster or street thug Deadpool, which was based off of a cosplayer who came up with that outfit.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I got the whole run of Original Sin. I couldn't find anything interesting in this run to really talk about, other than I did always like this Dazzler cover with his Jimmy. That's Jimi Hendrix. He's homaging Jimi Hendrix with his bandana there. For some reason, I've got like two different covers of 32, and like aren't the second prints supposed to have like a 2 at the end of the barcode?
Yeah.
The one has a 2, the other one has a 5. I don't know what that is. Maybe somebody knows. I suppose I could look it up later. But yeah, there's nothing terribly interesting about those, I don't think. This, however, I did love this. I did love this in particular. It was right around the time where Thor came out with Thor 600. There was Spider-Man 600. There might have been one other 600 issue. Might have been Avengers 600. X-Men 200 came out, and like so, Deadpool came out with just $8.99 and 900. So they just like completely jumped all the legacy numbering for Deadpool and went straight to 900. And they issued this 900 series, but they had to give an $8.99 for some reason. And this is when Incredible Hercules took over the title from Incredible Hulk right after Planet Hulk. You can see they've beaten Wolverine bloody here. Funny book. This was a good read. I can't remember what was in this one, but I remember this one being a good read. Some of the older, back to some more of the older mid 2000s Deadpool. This was a huge book in its day. The Suicide Kings. Had a big Punisher storyline. Of course, we're homaging. Cover homage. And then we've got Headpool again with, it looks like Tombstone to me. I can't remember who that is. Doesn't it look like Tombstone?
Yeah, it does, kind of. Either him or Mr. Sinister, but Mr. Sinister never wore a suit.
Now, Sinister's got the gem in his head, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The
diamond in his head. All right, well, that's enough Deadpool, I think, for one night. I'll kick it back to you here, and then I've got some green to show the other half of the coin here.
Yeah. So, very cool. Hey, so lots of cool stuff there. Okay, so I've got 4 different stacks of 4 stacks. I'll do 2 of them now, and then I'll hold the other 2 for my next round. So my local comic shop, speaking of reprints, many of you know that I collect Zorro, and I do have a lot of the Golden Age. I think I have all the Golden Age appearances and then a few of the Silver Age ones. Well, American Mythology Productions in 2019, for his 100th anniversary, they acquired the license to Zorro. So one of the things they do in addition to developing new Zorro stories is they also are doing reprints. So I had seen this pop up on FOC. These are some of the original Golden Age some of the new Golden Age reprints. So I went ahead and picked this up. Very cool stuff. This is the original Alex Toth scripts and writing for the interior on this one. But I like having these really cool reprints that I can go back and look at. So I picked that one up. This Star Wars Visions, which I guess is tied to the anime side by Takashi Okazaki. This issue number 1 came out this week, so I picked this up. Looking forward to reading this one as well. And then,
hold on, show that book again. Who's the main character in that one?
Well, not the main character. The writer is Takashi Okazaki, and I'm not sure who the main character is for it yet. I haven't
Is it a main continuity book, or is that a Star Wars book?
No. This is like the Star Wars Visions. I think is.
Oh, it is a Star Wars book. Okay.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Visions, but I think Visions were kind of an anime inspired, almost like not necessarily like a what if story, but like a kind of like a alternate reality. That's what I think it is, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Nerd Amazing! I just saw what you said. You just ordered a Zorro action figure with his horse. I want to see that.
What was Zorro's horse's name?
I'm
gonna take your comic card.
You are gonna take my comic card.
Your Zorro card.
I'm blanking. No, it wasn't. Bullet. Bullet?
Was it?
Was it?
Oh no, Carlos! Oh no! Oh no! No,
it's not. It's not Bullet. Wait, no, it's not Silver. It was Lone Ranger.
Right?
What? Oh gosh, MT. I don't know.
Come on.
So it's not Bullet.
Tornado. You're gonna fail the exam. You're gonna fail the exam at the end of the week. Here,
that's what happens. Story of my life. In my moment of pressure, I miss. Right. So, last book from this LCS is I've been picking up Ragman, the little short-lived, I think it's like 5-issue series from DC Comics or 5 or 6.
While you post that, yeah.
This is issue number 4. It's about an 8.5 plus or minus, and does need a press. So very excited about getting this.
Tell me a little bit about that character, because I don't know too much about him.
So Rory, it's in the mighty Marvel tradition of alliterated character names. Rory Riordan, I think. Rory Riordan found the tatterdemalion, like this suit cloak thing, and it was a supernatural item, and he has now donned it, and he is now fighting crime as Ragman. So interestingly enough, the item, like the hood and suit that he wears, the tatterdemalion, I saw a Marvel comic where 2 characters were fighting a character named Tatterdemalion. I never would have thought that you would have 2 of these guys running around, but apparently there is a Marvel version of him that is that's out there. What's up, Bry Guy? And I see, I see Nerd Amazing knew about it. Paul Comics says it's
yeah, there you go, Paul.
All right, so I also let me show. Okay, yeah, and so shout out to. Okay, I'll save those and I'll do these now. All right, so shout out to our good buddy over on Instagram. He, I think, is popping in here once in a while. Comic Fanatic 86 at Andrew Smilansky. Check him out. You can find him on YouTube. Comic Fanatic 86 on YouTube. He's also he's growing his channel. So I got these all from a couple of different claim sales from him over the past month and a half. I don't even know. No, it's actually
stuff from him too. I come to find out.
Yeah, I you know what? And the crazy thing is, I think it's even been longer than this. Because some of these books, I don't even remember getting them like a long time ago, but they were all inexpensive. So I said, well, I'm going to pick these up. Some of them I posted on Instagram already. So All-Star Squadron #1, which becomes Infinity Inc. Just a really cool, I thought, little super team. Not the JSA, not the JLA, but it's a couple of like some Golden Age superheroes. This is issue #1 for them. I'm calling this an 8.0 plus or minus, and just it's a fun nostalgia pickup that I found. Paul, I did take all the stuff out of your pull box and your layaway book too. So, Rogue #1, more 90s than can't get any more 90s than this. This is the Rogue one to accompany the Gambit series. This is issue #1.
Oh yeah, right, the gold foil.
Yep. And this one's got a couple of little dings and dents on the foil, but it's still nostalgia pickup. I do have my New Teen Titans run that I don't work on it very often, but I keep seeing these, and this was a really good price, so I picked it up. Tales of the New Teen Titans #1 from their miniseries. This is the Cyborg issue. Goes a little bit into Vic Stone's, what do you call it? His origin story.
Oddly enough, that is a DC comic I own.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Right. For me, this is almost as much nostalgia as it is completing any kind of a run. This book, I must have come across it like at least 2 different public libraries and a couple of newsstands, and even owned a copy as a kid. But yeah, it just seems like it was always there. Okay, so at the hearing you guys talk about it, I picked up Fantastic Four 347. This is, and it's not I think it's got some kind of like an ink mark or something there. This is the first appearance of the new Fantastic Four. So snag this one.
I've got quite a few of those. I've been getting a lot of those recently.
Yeah. Y'all know me. I'm kind of excited that Armor Wars is now going to be a feature film instead of a series. So I'm wondering how that's going to work out, but I think it could actually end up being a good thing. But I did pick up another copy because it was just too inexpensive to not get it. Another copy of the first part of Armor Wars.
Oh, that's part 1? Let me
Yeah.
see that because I don't know if I have that
Part
one.
one.
Okay, Total War. All right.
So I think got a couple copies of this one, maybe 2 or 3. This one was also like another super cheap, cool book to pick up. West Coast Avengers #21, adding Moon Knight and Dr. Pym to the roster.
The roster. Oh, okay, black cover.
Yep, and actually in fairly good condition. I mean, it's got a couple of spine dings, but it's not in bad condition. All right, last one from this Alpha Flight #33. This one's a little bit of a beater. I think this might have been a freebie. I'm not sure, but yeah, snagged this one as well. So that is the stack from Mr. Smolansky. Shout out to Comic Fanatic 86. And I will go ahead and pass it back over to you, MT. I've got 2 more stacks to hit for what do you call it for this episode.
Okay.
So
there's been this. Okay. There is like this book that like. I've been thinking about a lot. Every time Halloween comes around, it's a book that I always think about. Where the heck is it? I should pull it out again and read it. And I always think it's this book, which is Wolverine, the Amazing Immortal Man, and Other Bloody Tales. I always think that this is like kind of the Halloween issue, and it's not. It's not the book that I think it is, which I didn't end up finding it. But it's got some weird kind of like what if tales in this, like different people, if Wolverine was in a different dimension or was a different person or it's out there. It's out there. There's some weird stuff in there. Great cover though. Love that cover. I'm trying to see who did the artwork on this because I'm thinking about how nice that really is. Pencils and Inks by Johnny Timons. Don't know who he is. Never heard of him before, but he did a nice job there, I thought. At any rate, the book that I really think it is this one. Giant Size Wolverine. This came out kind of. I think it came out after the Old Man Wolverine story arc, and either that or just before, but it was right around that time period. And they reprinted first appearance of Omega Red in here, and like some of the right after Omega Red. I think like there's issue 6 in here. Got old Mojo Jojo and Longshot, and there's the ad for the female White Tiger there, which is a run I picked up here not too long ago. Also, great series, the Civil War Heroes for Hire. The artwork was fantastic in that. So they're reprinting a lot of this. But in the front end of this book, I don't know, did you ever watch, were you Scully and Mulder X-Files watcher?
Yes. Yeah.
So there is this particular episode in X-Files, which is this, people are going to know this story from X-Files more than any place else, where there was like this weirdo family. They dug up this fetus maybe at home plate at this baseball field next to this creepy house where there was 3 brothers that lived there, and like they kept this mother organism thing in the drawer, and they like connected themselves through like weird umbilical cords. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but like that story has been told, was like on an Unsolved Mysteries show or something like that before it was on X-Files. I've read another comic that had that story in it, and a version of that appears in this book. And it's like, it's making me think that there had to been some like urban myth, because it is so weird, creepy, like disturbing, and like for it to be retold so many times, there's got to be an origin to it or some myth somewhere. So I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to get too much further down into the gory details of this story. He rescues this girl. It ends up being this weird monster in the basement, but you can see the weird, creepy umbilical cords in this. It is a version of that story. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if anybody can remember if it was like an Unsolved Mysteries show that first told that story, or if it was, maybe it was a Tales from the Crypt or something. It's been driving me nuts for years. For years I've been trying to figure out, tie all those cords together, as it were. But anyways, I found it. It was cool to dig through the book because I've been looking for this for, I don't know, a couple years now, and I was able to dig it back out again. And I also dug this one out. Love this cover. Cool. This was a one-off. Fear Itself Prologue, the Book of the Skull. This is like an awesome read. It deals with Red Skull, the Nazis up in Antarctica with Namor. It's got Thor's hammer in it from the Ultimates universe. And this was before they did Secret Wars and started mashing the universes together. It's there at the end. Crazy story. The artwork in it was phenomenal, and it was just kind of a one-off book, and it was one that was not in the right box, of course. So I hadn't been able to find it, so it was cool to come across that again. Because it was really neat, because they were really tying Wolverine to World War II at the time, right after the Origins storyline. I kind of wanted to show, because I've been buying a lot of these recently. In fact, I just got some of these in this week. I've got all the covers to number 1. I couldn't lay my hands on the other 2, but that's a sweet Michael Turner, who's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
Or number 1. I think Peach Momoko ripped this cover off. And I don't remember what comic she did that to, but Omega, because they were like, this is where they were reprinting. So I guess this is why they did that annual where they were reprinting Omega Red because they were putting him in the origin storylines with Zero and Cyber and the what was it, the Carbonator, something like that. At any rate, there's a bloody variant of that one where he was part of Weapon X, and I got this one at a good deal this week. This has been a hot book, right? And there's the variant cover to that one. You know what that one is, right, Carlos?
It's Daken, right? Or Daken?
Yeah,
Daken.
First Daken, right?
How do you say his name? Daken?
Well, it's supposed to be pronounced Daken because Deadpool uses the phrase "release the Daken" instead of "release the Kraken," or "release the Daken," or Daken, whatever it is. It's close enough. So, anyways, Origins went through and they were retelling these Wolverine in World War II because he lost his memory, and we can retcon things like that, right? But these were really well done covers. This was a great read. This series won a bunch of awards, of course. And I was thinking in my brain, I'm like, how is 25 the key first Deadpool when Deadpool was on the cover of issue number 21, number 22 Deadpool's on the cover. He's on the cover of 23. He's on the cover of 24.
Jeez.
But somehow, issue number 25 is plus the first appearance of Deadpool. And this is the key book, maybe because it's Deadpool first appearing with Daken in the same story. I don't know. I was going to pull these out and read it again because I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was trying to figure out why this was in the key book. Maybe somebody knows. Okay, so they are reprinting New Mutants 98.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that upside down? Do I have an error book? Well, can you remember that Gideon was a bigger character than Deadpool was when that first came out, that New Mutants 98 and first X-Force? I don't know if you were buying comics back then. My other favorite thing about the first Deadpool is there is a Bart Simpson poster in New Mutants 98.
Mm.
And there he is. In all the Liefeld glorious goodness, right? So that must be why it says first appearance of Deadpool in there. Let's see here. I've got a couple other cool ones I want to share with you here. Yeah, I think that's the rest of the origins that are worth talking about here. All right, yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this first, and then we'll get into Old Man Logan because I really want to talk about that for a minute. If anybody read this series, did you read this series? Are you familiar with what's going on in this comic book?
Is that his? That's his self-titled series, but I don't know which volume that is.
So this is 2007, I believe. This is the Low Bianchi series, and there was some awesome connecting covers in this, where it was Wolverine versus Sabretooth, and they were talking about and they used this in the Origins movie. And this is before Origins, but basically they were retconning Wolverine, going all the way back to like the dawn of humanity, and he was like this prehistoric tribe, being controlled by this guy named Romulus. So he and Sabretooth go all the way back to like this 10,000 BC type situation. And it was a really good story. And there's this guy in the background, like as the puppet master, controlling Wolverine's life and killing all his love interests. Anytime you get a love interest, he was the reason why he would get killed. Yeah, here it is. There's the lupine. They call him the lupine, right? Which is Latin for dog. Lupus. And that's what the lichens are, werewolves, right?
Yeah.
So they constantly are having these battles with him and Sabretooth. The artwork in this was so good. He ends up chopping Sabretooth's head off with a grass cutter sword to make sure that he dies in the end. But it's some feral version of him. The beauty about a lot of this is that Marvel, this is can kill characters, bring them back when a new writer comes in. They can reboot it. I kind of like that. I don't think you have to be totally driven by chronology. But all of a sudden, in the middle of this comic, they have this Deadpool moment where he is all of a sudden being drawn by a different character and fighting the Hulk in Hulk 181. Just in the middle of this comic book. It's a total Deadpool movie, right? Or Deadpool move where they've redrawn and kind of retold the Hulk 181 story in this. But the other cool part about this is, here's where he wakes up from that dream. He's like, what the hell's going on? Am I in a cartoon? Or he doesn't know what's happening there. Because it was a very gritty story. Very gritty story. A lot of killing, a lot of murder, a lot of manipulation, right? And he's going around collecting the lupine characters, the cat-like characters, which I said dog, but I really meant cat, sorry. So you had Sabretooth, Wolverine, Wolfsbane, Black Panther fell into that circuit for some reason. There is Wild Child. Help me out here.
Yeah, I remember it.
Remember Wild Child?
Okay, night, Nerd Amazing. Have a good night.
But this was such a high-selling, successful series. They reprinted it multiple times. They did black and white versions. It was wildly popular when it came out. It's a good read. You can find them in back bins. I think it's worth picking them up. It is well worth the read. Out of that same series, they started doing all the Marvel Zombies. Sudan was like super hot, was doing zombie covers of absolutely everything, and Wolverine got his zombie edition there too. I figure with Halloween, it's always good to look at some zombie stuff coming up because here's the other one. Like I said, this is getting into the original. The very first Marvel Zombie run was Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness, and we know that one, right, Carlos?
Yeah.
Is that cover?
Okay, X-Men 2.
It's Amazing Spider-Man. And classic Wolverine cover there. I think this is the homage to the first series, right? Because he's given the... Somebody can help me out with that. All right, so now I'm going to get into my diatribe about wasted opportunities here. Old Man Logan. We got this weird movie that had nothing to do with what Old Man Logan was about. They called it Old Man Logan or Logan. What did they call that movie? Do you remember?
It was just Logan.
It was just called Logan? Okay.
Yeah.
They were calling it Old Man Logan, right? And I remember when this came out. Oh my God, this was such a great story. This should have been like an HBO type series. It is. He's got this. They bring back the spider buggy, right? So this is the first. I believe this first one, 66, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pick up a trade paperback. Phenomenal read. It's a post-apocalyptic story where, spoilers, Wolverine gets tricked by Mysterio into thinking he's battling all of the supervillains all at once. He's like, what would happen if all the supervillains teamed up and attacked the X-Men all at once? What would happen? Right? We'd lose. And what happens is Mysterio tricks him into thinking he's fighting all the villains at once. And meanwhile, Wolverine went through and killed every single one of the X-Men. And then he wakes up out of his daze and he wants to die, so he no longer wants to be Wolverine. So he's hidden himself away, and the Hulks basically control most of the United States, and they're all inbreds because the only person that could handle or keep what do they say could keep up the pace was Jen Hulk to procreate with the Hulk. They like have all these like hillbilly half-breeds that are running around. So they're on this trek with Hawkeye to get super soldier serum to try and bring the heroes back. So well written, such good storylines. They bring back Goliath's. Help me out. What's Goliath's name? Black Goliath. He was in the Ant-Man movie.
Wait, Bill Foster?
Bill Foster, thank you.
Yeah.
Bill Foster's grandson or something like that. He's like got the Ant-Man helmet, makes people play it told. It's the first zombified or first venomized Tyrannosaurus Rex who's in this story. Here he is with the Moloids. This is the retelling of the battle. And it was a wasted opportunity if they were calling that Old Man Logan. I love this cover. So Red Skull's like the most powerful. He's like the new president of the United States. He's the most powerful of all the villains. And he keeps a trophy room with all the costumes and weapons of all the heroes that were defeated. Except for Thor's hammer, which is in a town called Hammer Falls, because it's in a pit in the ground and nobody can move it. And if everybody remembers the first Thor movie, remember where the hammer fell in the middle of the desert and the guys are all on there with their pickup trucks trying to pull it with the Stan Lee has cameo there when they were in the 4-wheel drive. That came out of Old Man Logan. That's where that came from. But at any rate, I thought this is the one where they talk about him procreating with Jen Walters. Funny story. I've even got the hardcover of this. So well done. So this might be some books. Hasn't been in print now for 15 years or more. So I kind of thought I'd show some stuff maybe that wasn't terribly current, but still very relevant that they use for inspirations in the movie. This would be a great thing if somebody would just do 1-hour movie or something like that. I think this could still be done. Not like how wasted Planet Hulk was. And I will say there were parts of Planet Hulk, that movie, that weren't terrible. My issue is like the writing for these movies are terrible. Most of them are terrible, but like the set designers, the costume designers, the artists do such a phenomenal job with that. The special effects guys, there's so much to be praised with that. If anybody read the original Scar Planet Hulk, it was like the first time you got Hulk in control of himself in all his power, might, and glory, being the savior of a planet, not being dumb Hulk. I'm throwing a tank at somebody, me, Tarzan, you, Jane situation. He was intelligent. He knew what he was doing. He had agency. And it was like the first time we saw that out of a Hulk comic. And it was impressive because he was always just kind of dumb muscle, kind of like Hercules was. No, they're not second prints. They were specially run black and white editions that came out like months afterwards. I'm not quite sure they called it a black and white edition and not a second print, Michael. We can look at that later, but yeah, one of them was a ratio variant, and the other one was like a black and white special edition reprint. So at any rate, that's all I'm going to show you tonight. I think, gang, we went over. I pulled out, instead of pulling out New Mutants 98 and Wolverine 88 and all the other stuff that we've seen a lot here. Oh, Omega Flight Wild Child. Thank you, Rafaust Comics. Wild Child also was featured in X-Force for a little while.
Yeah.
I thought there was like 3 or 4 of them, right? Wasn't there?
I got a lot of those kind of beast characters mixed up.
because you've got Rain, Wolfsbane, there was Wild Child, and I could have swore there was one more because they made Wild Child into like this weird punk emo kid with like all kinds of piercings and scraggly emo hair and stuff. But I don't know. Wrap it up here. If I can figure out, if I can find that comic, I'll tell you who, because they like show all of them in that comic. If I can find that, I'll show up before the end here. But go ahead and bring it home here, Carlos.
Cool.
All done.
All right, thanks, MT. Man, it's a lot of good stuff. The Wolverine and Deadpool book. There's a lot of good stuff there mixed in there, and I had not seen most of those Deadpool books. I'd seen a couple of the Wolverine ones, but not many. So okay, so I've got two small stacks here. One of them I got from Peddlin' Pete. Peddlin' Pete Auctions. I think he's on Whatnot now. He's also here on YouTube. I picked up You Know Me and Booster Gold. Anytime I come across a Booster Gold #1, I'm going to snag it. This one I'm putting it at about a 7.5 plus or minus. Needs a clean and press, but it's one more. I think I have a stack of 5 of them now, maybe. I showed this one on Instagram as well. This is Shogun Warriors #1. This was also a very inexpensive pickup, so I decided to snag this one as well, because this goes in my 80s toy, sub collection that I've got going on here.
Sure.
Which are Defenders of the Earth, Mask, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Visionaries are all on the shelf right here next to me. Last one. So I've been stacking Wonder Man books. I'm pretty sure they're going to do a special presentation number with him, another 55-minute version. So this Wonder Man #1 from his first solo title series, I did not ever have a copy of this, so I went ahead and got this because, again, it was a very inexpensive. This is about a 7.0, and I decided, needs a clean and press, definitely, because it's got some gunk on the back here, but I definitely was glad to go ahead and add this to the overall to my Wonder Man section. And then he threw in a book to Ryan the Future Force to help with padding. All right, this last one is from a Facebook seller by the name of Johnny, and he does some Facebook sales. And I picked up some. This was over a period of about 3 or 4 weeks. He does weekly claim sales, and these were over a period of about 3 or 4 weeks. So this was not all one big buy. These were a little bit at a time here and there as they came up. And Johnny, the cool thing about him is he always throws in freebies. Some of these will be passed on. Some of them I'll just hold on to. But just another neat thing that he did. So the first one, this is Giant Size Man-Thing #4. I had picked this one. I had claimed this one at a very inexpensive price because it was before anything dropped about Werewolf by Night. So it was before we knew that Man-Thing was in it. So I ended up getting this for a steal. The condition, it's definitely got some spine rolling going on here.
They all do. That particular issue, the bindings on those are all terrible. Yeah, they all don't lay flat. I've never had one that did. They're all kind of pinched, like there's a little bit of a cup there at the edge, right?
Yeah.
They're almost all like that. And you know what's key about that one, don't you?
This one? No, I don't.
It retells his origin story, and it's the first appearance of Gorko the Frog.
That's right. Oh, yeah, it's on here. Howard the Duck faces death at the hands of Gorko the Man-Frog.
Right, which is more spoofing kind of thing. Because
right.
Man-Thing always had kind of, just like Howard the Duck had a little bit of an era of... Great book.
So this was a fun book. I just, snagged it also. I saw this, and I'm a huge believer in this title. So Noctera... I'm a huge believer in it. They're still inexpensive and easy to pick up. But he had a copy, and I was mainly upset that that Tony Daniel canceled at Fan Expo Dallas, so I didn't get him to sign it. But Johnny had a copy. This is my favorite copy from issue number 1, the Boss Logic variant. I think it's like the cover E, or D or E. I think D. And it's signed by Tony Daniel. So I was very glad to grab this one for, again, a very inexpensive price. And then there's a couple of new books that I've got here. Who can pass up? Because this one will probably get slabbed to sit next to the Batgirl one. This is Action Comics 1046. This is an the Art Germ Supergirl swimsuit cover.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with that one. Nice and crisp. This one I think actually is going to be a giveaway, or was a giveaway. Another facsimile for Detective Comics number 27. And then some Spider-Verse books. I snagged these. I have one of them here as well. This is Edge of Spider-Verse number 1. This is, I think, the A cover. Then this is the Spider-Rex cover right here.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's a cool. Yeah, Spider-Man is a dinosaur, so it's pretty cool. You know, these Spider-Verse books have so many different characters popping up in them. And then this was a ratio. I think this was the 1 in 10, but this was the Edge of Spider-Verse 1, the design variant for Araña. So I decided to snag this one as well. And that's a Rods. I don't know, Rands. I'm not sure who did that one. Okay, so here's the giveaway or the freebies that he threw in for me for this round. So this is okay. So he's threw in a copy of Amazing Fantasy number 1000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. Very nice of him to do that, because I think that's like a $8 or $10 book by itself.
Yeah, price on those are $10, right?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a variant for Harley Quinn number 72. This is a Frank Cho variant.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep. Harley Quinn. And then this last one, this is a Perillo Hulk, but I don't know what issue it is. The Comics Elite and Unknown Comics variant for the Immortal Hulk number 20. And this is a Perillo Hulk version. So yeah, this is the Comics Elite and Unknown Comics Perillo version variant for Immortal Hulk number 20. So yeah, and he just threw that one in as a freebie.
Nice.
Which is why I like buying from him, because he always throws in cool freebie books, which in turn get turned around and either given out into the community or, from time to time sold. But
almost like somebody else we know.
All right, so those are what I had for this for this episode. I'll go ahead and wrap us up. Hey, thank you guys.
Here, I found this portion here. I think it's a good educational moment here for maybe a question here. So, like I said, back to this story that had Romulus and the Lupine. So they have the story. It goes back where he's even in the Roman Colosseum. Sabretooth and Wolverine are fighting. They fought across time. So Black Panther and Storm pick him up and tell him that there's this evolved Darwinian species of cat people, and which is really interesting. It was really more interesting than you think it would be, right? But then they bring all the cat people out, and it was the other one I couldn't think of was Thorn. So you have Feral, you have Thorn, you have Wolfsbane, and somehow they threw in Sasquatch is somehow a cat person and not an ape person. Didn't know that. Apparently that's the case. So those were the ones we were thinking about. And then Wild Child, which is another one in that family. They turn him, like I said, into this weird emo guy. That's what Wild Child now kind of looks like with his pierced nipples. But well drawn series. Well worth. If you see it in a back bin, in a dollar bin, pick them up. It's a great read, great art. Wolverine 50 through 56, maybe something like that. So you can pick them up for a couple bucks. Well worth the read, I would think. All right, thanks. That's all I got.
Cool. All right, guys. So El Green, he does not have a YouTube channel. His name is.
Oh, that's a good point, Ralphus. Where is Tigra Indeed? That is a great point. Didn't even think about that.
So, but yeah, El Green, he's over on Facebook, and he's just under Johnny Ray. And do not, please don't expect that he'll throw in freebies, because he doesn't like me mentioning that he does freebies, because not everybody gets the same, and throws in different stuff here and there. So yeah, so just don't go into it expecting freebies. I've been buying from him for a long time. So guys, I do want y'all check out Comic Fanatic 86 on Instagram and here on YouTube as well. He does have some cool claim sales and decent books as well. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in tonight for this episode of Monday Hauls Live. We are going to have some fun stuff going on Monday Hauls coming up as well. A week from this Wednesday, you know that we've got our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. But in addition to that, we're also going to be doing on Halloween night a special Halloween themed episode of Monday Hauls. I think everybody's going to be in full costume. We're calling it the Order 66 episode, even though I think it's episode number 65 maybe. And yeah, I know, I hear you, El Green. I hear you. But he's a great guy. He's got some cool books, and I think he does his claim sales on Sunday nights. I think mostly on Sunday nights, but I don't I don't follow him as regularly. But yeah, he's a great guy, Johnny Ray on Facebook, and you have to be his friend to get the stuff and all that good stuff. So yeah, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Be here Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central. We'll be doing another giveaway, and Paul and I are going to be talking about Toy Fair or Toy Theater, and we're going to have Adam from Nerd Mazing hanging out with us as well. So we're looking forward to that. Just a lot of cool stuff here on the channel. And thank you all, as always, for watching and hanging out with us and being a part of the chat, because that is what really makes each episode happen and what makes it work. We couldn't do it without you. So we are very appreciative for you hanging out with us. So we will see you next time. Hey, make sure and let me know what you thought of the new countdown that we debuted tonight. But otherwise, you'll have a great night, and we will see you next week, Monday, 10 p.m. Central. And then also tune in Wednesday at 10 p.m. Central for the giveaway show. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys. Yep.
Night.